I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we, just for information purposes, we have 2 resignations: Historic District Alternate, Alyssa Slack, and Solid Waste and Recycling, Kristen Attella. And item number 4, can I get a motion to reappoint, or another appointment, to the Police Commission of Ronald D. Pine? Get a motion to approve.
So moved.
I'll second it.
All right. Is there any comments from the board?
It was pointed out that this term actually doesn't officially end until the 20th. I don't know if there's an issue with that. I just wanted to, case like from a housekeeping standpoint.
Right, well, we weren't going to have a meeting, and we many times do appointments before term ends.
Okay. Just
the holidays and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, Madam First Selectwoman, I've had the pleasure of knowing Ron for about 18 years now, since I got involved in the town. He's obviously got a great background in law enforcement, has served on the commission for quite some time, has held other positions with the town, and is well thought of. And I'm proud to support his nomination. I know he'll continue to do a great job for the town.
And I will say, I know your Mr. Pines will have the support today. I'm going to abstain, as I have with most of the appointments since I've been sitting here. There is an excellent record of service, and I wish you well. And I just think with the next administration starting, I'm just going to abstain today, and just wish you well, because I know it will pass and you'll have the support. So continued good luck to you.
Would you like to say anything, Ron?
Sure. So I've been in Fairfield about 40 years now. I was the first vice president of Holland Hill Elementary School. I was served 2 years on PTA Council. Was involved with the Fairfield United Soccer Association. I helped form that group. It used to be Fairfield Youth Soccer and Fairfield Football Club. I got hold of Don Houston, who was the president of Fairfield Football Club. We merged and made Fairfield United Soccer Association, which is still in today. I served in the RTM for three and a half terms. I was appointed by Ken Flato to the Parking Authority of Fairfield. I was reappointed by Mr. Tetro to the Parking Authority of Fairfield. Was appointed to the Election Review Committee by Mr. Tetro. I was put on the Police Commission by Mr. Tetro and the rest of the selectmen. So I've been involved in, unpaid service for like 25 years. So I appreciate the support. Mr. Flynn, thank you. And I'll be glad to serve another 5 years. Thank you.
It's incredibly inspiring, and thank you. My kids played FUSA, so thank you for that too.
Well, Ron actually served on the RTM together back in the 1 versus 2 high school days, and we were on the 2 high school side. We had some very exciting meetings, committee meetings. Chairman of the Education Committee, and we did a lot of good work, and it resulted in 2 high schools.
Comment further on that. It was a big controversy to 2 high schools, and consultant said that the population of Fairfield by 2012 would go down. We'd only need 1 high school. As you know, population has gone up. We had to put an additional logo. So when we checked it to consultant, he never used the birth rate for his consulting. He never took in the fact that families moving into town with children. So he skewed the results, and we're so glad we got the 2 high schools. So,
yeah, that was the good old days. People really focused on issues and not partied. But you've served on the police commission well, and having obviously your background in law enforcement is very vital to that commission. So I'm very pleased to appoint you again, and I look forward to you serving our community in your capacity. Is there any discussion from the public? Seeing none, back to the board. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And I'll abstain.
All righty. Thank you, Ron, and I'll say what I say to most anybody who's appointed, you're free to stay or to go, it's up to you. But we're gonna have a little fun now, something really good that I had been planning for months and months and months. So as we know, our first select people have a portrait done, and Jackie's was Jackie Durrell, the only other elected woman in Fairfield's history. Her portrait was at the Jackie Durrell Pavilion over the fireplace. Not a great place for the portrait to be. And over the years, it got kind of damaged, and it was like bent a little, and the frame was very old. And I had it in my office for a while. We loaned it back when you had an event, when the Durrell family had an event at Jackie Durrell. But I was in high school when Jackie became the first select woman. I was really inspired by her. She was a regular person. She was a mom. She was on the PTA. She was a Board of Ed member, state rep. Who knew back then that I would sort of follow in her footsteps? But I was very impressed with her, and I didn't want her portrait to look like that. So I made sure that it got fixed up. So I just wanted to do this for the Durrell family, obviously, and for the town of Fairfield, who is always eternally grateful for Jackie's service to our town. She led with compassion and concern, and she was just really wonderful. And her and John Sullivan, probably the last two people who really put their hearts into the town and put the town first. So without further ado, would you like to come over here? Together, shall we?
Very nice.
Alex, what do you think of that frame?
Oh, she was.
You look so much like her. Oh my goodness.
Beautiful, lovely.
Madam First Select Woman,
Pam, would you?
Yeah.
Would love it. Would that mean? Get on the other side.
I could say a rose between two thorns.
Your normal line, Alex.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you for sharing your mother with the town. And actually, I have a little, so we were going through some stuff, and I found a newsletter from Jackie Durrell. Which is actually funny, because I guess she was the only other person who did a newsletter. And but it was a year-end report, and I think it's fascinating what she wrote about here. And I thought you would like to have it. It's really cool, and it was printed in February of 1987. And some other items from your mom's service, which you passed, and some pictures. So I wanted you to have that. Honored. My pleasure. God bless.
I just wanted to say, Alex, as someone's mother, it's very heartwarming how you have such obvious pride for your mom. And that's something that's always come, as long as I've known you, that's something that has come through. And obviously the gift of service she passed on to you. So I just, thank you so much for your service to the town. And her legacy is large. So that's a really lovely thing that the select woman has done. So yeah, congratulations.
Thank you, ladies.
Yeah, and if I might, first of all, Brenda, excellent job getting this together. Thank you for that. I could think of no more fitting way to honor Jackie. I had the great fortune, as did Brenda, to be close friends and mentored by Carl Dickman, who I would put in the same category as John Sullivan and Jackie Durrell in terms of their love for the town and their selfless service. He introduced me to Jackie Durrell, and she quickly became a very early mentor of my political career. She was great to me. She would always take my phone call, always give solid advice, and I enjoyed getting to know her and having her friendship, as well as your dad, who was a very special guy And oh my God, once he learned that I worked in the magazine industry, I would call to talk to Jackie, and I would have to actually call 45 minutes early because I'd be on the phone with your dad talking about magazines and the like. So they're truly two special people. And I think this is great that we're re-honoring them again. So thank you for sharing your family with the town, Alex, and the rest of your siblings.
Thank you. I wish they were here. Closest one's in North Carolina. It's an honor to have served Fairfield, and thank you so much, both of you, all three of you, about this.
And actually, we were gonna, the plan is to hang John Sullivan and your mother right here, so it'd be really nice.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Alex. Okay, thank you. Our next item is item number 6. Can I get a motion to consider and act upon the minutes of October 2nd?
So moved.
October 16 and October 19, 2023.
I'll move them all.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion of this item? Seeing none. Any from the public? Back to the board. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Our next item is item number 7, a motion to hear and consider authorizing the purchasing authority to enter into a proposed contract with Ty and Bond to provide all engineering services necessary to perform the preliminary investigation and field survey for the following 4 pump stations: Toll House Pump Station, Mill River Pump Station, East Field Drive Pump Station, Willow Street Pump Station, and as detailed in the RFP listed in the agenda, in the amount not to exceed $235,000. Funding for this contract is available, and the item number is listed in the agenda. Authorized appropriations from the fund balance.
So moved.
Seconded.
And Adam and John Bodie and Christine are all available. Is there any questions from the board?
Yes, I do have some questions, if that's okay.
Sure.
I assume everything here has gone through the proper protocol. I can't go through our last meeting and not ask that. And proper contracts, is that correct?
Hi, this is Adam Tulin, Purchasing Director. Yes, we put this one out for a formal, proper RFP, 2023-140. We had an RFP panel that reviewed responses, brought firms in for interviews. The contract has been reviewed by Attorney Baldwin. So yeah, everything is by the book here.
And Attorney Baldwin, Jim, you don't have any problems with this contract, I'm assuming, is that correct?
I don't. There are, in fact, some technical changes that we're working on, but nothing which is going to prevent us from reaching agreement with the contractor.
Okay, there's nothing material. Are there material changes, Jim, or are they immaterial changes?
No, they're immaterial. They're just standard changes of phraseology and some terms.
Okay, thank you. And
You're
then
welcome.
the last question I have is the authorized appropriate. There's wording at the bottom of this, which I don't recall before. So if Jared's there, what's the authorized appropriations from fund balance? Can you explain that to me, Jared, please?
These were, this project was approved by the boards and through the WPCA fund balance.
So it's the Okay, so it's the WPCA fund balance.
Correct.
Okay, that wasn't clear to me when I read fund balance here, I was concerned. And where does that fund balance now sit? It's been sitting around 13 million, I think. Where's it sitting now?
15 million as of today.
15 million. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Any questions from the public or comment? Back to the board. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 8. Can I get a motion to hear and consider and adopt a bond resolution amending and restating the resolution entitled a resolution appropriating $2,377,000 for the purchase of vehicles and equipment for the Department of Public Works and authorizing the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation to add equipment to Exhibit A, 15 years. And can I get a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
And Jared, go ahead.
Yep, John Cattell couldn't be here, so I'm filling in. This is pretty simple, and the only real change, the only substantive change was to add to the list of approved equipment for DPW, one item, and it's attached. It's after the resolution itself. You'll see the list there, and at the bottom of that, it's on page 141 of the PDF. If you're looking at the PDF, this is for a over the rail mower. They've been having over the summer. They noticed a number of issues with line of sight on the roads where there's overgrowth, vegetation, and so for the safety of not only motorists but especially pedestrians and cyclists, they needed this piece of equipment to add to their inventory of equipment. And so but the main point here is that there is no additional authorization of money. The only thing happening here is that the item is being added and we can do it within the approved amounts.
Now, I'm sorry, Madam First Selectwoman, may I ask a question?
Sure.
Thank you. We've gone through all this equipment previously. The useful lives compare with the 15-year amortization period of these bonds?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I'm good.
Okay. Is there any comment from the public? Back to the board. All in favor? Okay.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Jared. Okay, item number 9. Can I get a motion to hear and consider and adopt a bond resolution entitled the resolution appropriating $973,090 for the costs of pre-construction services for Phase 2 through V of the air conditioning upgrade project at various schools, authorizing the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. And we
just hear a little for the record.
So this bond resolution that you have before is to approve funding for phase 2 through 5 of the air conditioning for the Fairfield Public Schools. This will bring our designs into better scope and bring us all the way to the point of just before bid documents. So we will be able to have locked in, confirmed better numbers, I should say, before we come back before you for funding for the projects as they appear on the waterfall. That's why we felt it urgent to get these on there so that we can get better numbers and be prepared for bonding resolutions in the future years to come.
Thank you. Angela's. Is there any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? To the board. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Can I get a motion to hear and consider and adopt a bond resolution entitled the resolution appropriating $1,048,706 for the cost of Roger Sherman Elementary School boiler burner replacement project, authorizing the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation?
So moved.
Seconded.
So this is a bonding resolution originally on the waterfall. This was for seed money. However, one of the 2 boilers at Roger Sherman Elementary School is failing faster than anticipated. So we felt it urgent to get them both through the winter now and then replaced in the summer. Funding amounts were based off of the Burr project that was just done last summer, similar project scope, 2 boilers. High efficiency would be the route we would be looking to go on these with single firm.
Is there any
I have
questions from the board?
Yes, if I might.
Sure.
How long did the boilers in Sherman last?
I'm gonna tell you the year. The installation date is in the backup, but I'll pull it up. It's a lot of information.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. 1963 and 2001.
Okay, I'd say we got our money's worth. So the 20 years seems reasonable here.
2001, so yes, the 20-year
Yeah.
is in line with the,
Do we know why that one failed so quickly? Was there a problem with it, or is it just now built-in obsolescence? Do we know, Angelus?
just built-in obsolescence. We've been nursing it along for a while, and at this point, it's just becoming more costly.
Okay, the last question I have is you had to move this up because you weren't going to do this year. Is that correct?
We anticipated requesting the funding for this year, but the project would go into design and then the actual project would take place next year. We were actually just going to do the entire project this year.
Did you have to push things out and kind of restack things in order to be able to afford this from a cash perspective?
We did do some moving around, but not enough to accomplish the full cost of this project.
How much did you move back? And Jared, do we have any concerns here? I would think not, only because we're under bonded, quote unquote, at this point in time. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't have any concerns.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Nothing further from me.
Nothing for me.
Any comments from the public? Back to the board. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And our next two, can I get a motion to hear, consider, and adopt a bond resolution amending and restating a resolution entitled, a resolution appropriating $3,653,150 for the costs for various Board of Education capital projects and authorizing the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, to increase the appropriation and bond authorization by $1,061,000 to a total of $4,714,150.
So moved.
Seconded.
Okay. We have Angelus, but we have our bond counsel here as well. Any questions from the board?
Yeah, what's going on with this? Why are we increasing it again? Or why are we increasing it? For the record.
We are increasing this due to the bid. We went out to bid for the Ludlow High School bathroom renovation project, and the bids came in higher than anticipated, and that's what that increase is. We've already gone out to bid. We have locked in pricing, but we need to cover the offset for the higher bids.
So once again, we underestimated this. This is, did you have to move something else back so that we could afford this?
We did not move anything back. Working with Jared, we felt that there was room to put this forwards. It was underestimated with this bid. When we originally came to you for this allocation for this money, one of the things that we did talk extensively about was that part of this project is not just putting paint and new fixtures. We actually did a full investigation of the internal workings, the piping. We cameraed every pipe in the building and looked at every drain line to make sure we weren't just adding clean fixtures to a failing infrastructure. And that's where part of this cost came from, the additional, and then some of the additional came from the ADA requirements to make some of the more of the bathrooms ADA compliant.
So we were wrong in our original estimates of the design of the ADA, and the piping was worse than we thought. Is that what I'm hearing?
The piping, we were anticipating some, we're gonna have to do some additional work that we did not anticipate. The ADA is more of how many bathrooms are required, so we are improving on that ADA requirement.
Of the $1 million, how much of it was ADA? How much of it was piping? Approximate?
Most of it was the piping. I don't have the approximate, probably like an 80-20 split. If I had to go off the top of my head right now, for some piping and rework of lines, and the 20% more is more in lines of widening doors, making access points from hallways wider. It extends outside the bathroom a little bit. If you're familiar with Leadville High School, some of the bathroom doors are recessed in the hall. So to do this, we actually have to reconfigure that recess area a little bit as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Is there any additional questions from the board? Any comment from the public? Back to the board. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you, Angela. And our next item is, can I get a motion to hear and consider and act upon the resolution approving the transfer of fiscal year 22-23 revenue surplus? And the resolution is in the backup. Motion to approve? So moved.
Seconded.
Rob, Jared.
So this is a resolution to begin dealing with the surplus from the FY '23 budget. The overall surplus was 9.8 million. And just to remind everybody about the process and how this breaks out, there's a revenue component of the surplus and there's an expenditure of the surplus. Anything related to expenditures would only need to go to the Board of Finance because that has already been appropriated. So that component of it will be for Finance next meeting, or not next meeting, but on the 21st. What this is dealing with is the surplus component, which is new money that's never been dealt with in the past. And so it needs to get approval from all three boards. So that amount is $5.8 million. What we're proposing to do with that is to take $2 million of it and use it for catch up and paving. This is consistent with the plan. The paving plan had about $2 million that was we had $2 million that was in the operating budget that was spent during the fall. For paving, and then the total amount needed for FY '24 is approximately $4 million. So this would be the remaining $2 million that would be needed to stay current with the plan as it was proposed. So that's the first piece, $2 million of the 5.8. The second piece of it would be $3.8 million that we're proposing go into the debt service reserve as had been done in the past, and to hold on making a decision about how that money is going to be spent. So it's just to kind of get it off our FY '23 books and aside so that it can be dealt with in the future. And so that's what the $3.8 million is for. Any questions?
Have you discussed this with the Board of Finance already?
So I went through a proposal with the Board of Finance, the last meeting, which was to the surplus differently. There was some concern about the ways that we were proposing to use it, and while I haven't heard from the full board, I have had conversations with the chair regarding this approach here. And I'm fairly certain that this will be acceptable to the Board of Finance.
And sorry, please. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I had a similar conversation with the chair of the Board of Finance who reiterated what you just said, when I was trying to understand this. The plan that you talked about, the paving plan, just curious when that last was looked at, what year that was? It's a paving plan from when?
This was the paving plan that was adopted in 2021, I believe, but it was, dollar amounts, haven't changed. So it was a 5-year catch-up plan. And then in the 6th year, we would be back to kind of a normal spend that would all go through the operating budget. But this is in keeping with that 5-year plan and schedule.
Yeah, no other questions. I support this.
Yeah, and this is going to go through the town bodies over the next month, Jared.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Nothing further from me.
Thank you.
Is there any comments from the public? Back to the board, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Can I get a motion to consider and act upon the tax refunds recommended by the tax collector in the amount of $29,984.26?
So moved.
Seconded.
Any discussion from the board? Any comment from the public? Back to the board. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And to hear and consider any other business that comes before this meeting. Does anyone have any business?
I'd like to say something.
Go ahead.
Since it seems like this is our last meeting, there's just discussion of canceling the next one. I would just like to thank those of you in the room, Mr. Testani and the Board of Ed, and please go back to your board. Thank you. It's been a pleasure to serve in this context and work with you and you too. All of you, thank you. And to you, Tom Flynn, Selectman Flynn, it's been a pleasure to serve alongside of you. You, Madam First Selectwoman, thank you for your service for all of these years. Democracy is messy sometimes. It's not been easy. It has sometimes been ugly, but I think it's an ideal that is worth striving for, and it has been a privilege for me to serve, and I feel very grateful to have been able to do so. And I've learned a lot personally. I've learned a lot about the town, and I feel really grateful for having had the opportunity to serve in this capacity at this time. So thank you all.
If I might take a moment, Madam First Selectwoman.
Yep, sure, go ahead.
Thank you. I too would like to thank my colleagues on the Board of Selectmen for their hard work and service. It's been a pleasure and a privilege to serve with you, and thank you both for all that you've taught me through the years and all the good work that we've done. So thank you for that. It's been 18 years that I've been in elected office, and I owe a thank you to the people of Fairfield for the high honor of having the ability to serve you in various capacities. And it's an honor that I won't forget. Thank my family, friends, and campaign workers through the years. You don't do these jobs alone. There are lots of hours. There are lots of hours off of work hours, nights, weekends, and there's an extraordinary amount of sacrifice. When you win campaigns and you run successfully, you have a whole list of people to thank. It's not about the candidate. And so the people such as Roger O'Torre and Steve Elworthy and the like who've been with me for 18 years, as well as the general Republican Party in the town of Fairfield, I greatly appreciate the support you've shown me. To the new board, I'd like to wish congratulations. I'd like to say that I'll be rooting for you. I know you'll do what you think is in the best interest of Fairfield, keeping up with the traditions of our board, and I just root for nothing but the best. If I might have a couple of parting words, make sure you're kind to each other. Disagree, but don't be disagreeable. Work collaboratively. and try to find solutions that can get passed by a bipartisan nature. You've got some big headwinds, not just as a board of selectmen, but as a town. We talked earlier today. Angus got up and he talked about, Angela's got up rather, and he talked about the price points going up on some of the Board of Ed projects. We're probably going to have between $400 and $500 million worth of projects coming before the town bodies in the next decade or less. That's a huge amount of money on top of an already debt load that we have. We're going to have to prioritize and make difficult decisions. All these projects are worthy in one form or another. They all have a constituency in one form or another. The challenge is going to be prioritizing what the town can afford. You're also going to have the headwinds of the economy, the headwinds of inflation, and what that's going to do to wages and benefits. And let us not forget that the taxpayers of Fairfield are not a homogeneous bunch. There's a lot of people that struggle paycheck to paycheck, a lot of our retirees. So while we want to pay for everything and we want to fund everything, we've got to be judicious in what we do. So I wish you the best of luck as you face those challenges, as you prioritize them. And as I said, I'll be rooting for you. So thank you so much, and thanks to the citizens of Fairfield.
Thank you. I would like to thank all of the amazing people who work for the town of Fairfield. 18 departments, 500 employees, and add on the school administration and all the hard work that they do every single day. And getting to see that work and that commitment to our community, public service has been really a blessing. And I think we have amazing people working for our town. So hats off to you, Fairfield. All right, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Good night.